Ladies and gentlemen, we are back.
We're back.
I'm back. Welcome to the Back Yourself Podcast. It's been a minute talking to you lovely people. Obviously, we have been a bit MIA in the last couple of weeks, and that was from injury purposes. I have been in the casualty ward. Went for a big left foot goosey and Oztag and pretty much just obliterated my knee, ACL, MCL, quad, all torn. But we're off the ice and we're still on the painkillers. So if I fall asleep halfway through this segment,
you're still on the
talking
IR.
about Browns, like it does have a lot to do with the Browns offense, but I am on some heavy sedating painkillers at the same time. But that is no excuse to not have some content rolling your way, even though you guys have done fuck all for me, but that's all right. I'm here for you boys. And we're here to talk NFL. We're not going to review Week 7 because, I mean, just any double-digit favorite, a road favorite, anyone's just going to win. So that's pretty self-explanatory. But
it's not going to happen this
will
week.
the garbage continue or the peasants start covering? That is the million-dollar question in this sport. I will make a note before I hand it over to my brother from another mother, Chris, that I have had extra time to do research on this beautiful sport, and I have come away with some findings, Chris.
Your findings?
I found some brand new things. So currently, and I found like the epitome of what's wrong with this sport, essentially, because it's the same rats covering every week, and it's the same rats not covering every week. So we have 5 teams that have covered one game only and combined for a record against the spread of 5-31. That is the Carolina Panthers, the New England Patriots, the
Dolphins,
Miami Dolphins, who are just god awful. Carolina, which we said. And some other dicks. Rams, they can't cover anything. So that's fine. And Tennessee, which no spread's big enough for those guys.
Maybe this week's enough.
And on the flip side, we have teams that have only not covered one of their games. Obviously, Kansas City, because who can share the same field with these guys? And they operate under a whole new rule set to the other teams, but I'll get to them. We have my Vikings. You have the Colts that just cover every game by half a point. And obviously the Commanders, the team that invented offense back in 1908 when the sport was founded. So will there be a turning point with this where you can't just like consistently know that these 5 are going to cover and those other 5 shit teams are not going to cover? That's my thinking. And I have begun to do some advanced thinking, which I'll get to later in the pod. But I will hand over to my podcast partner, Chris, who has been waiting for my return for about 2 weeks. So, Chris, I apologize.
It's all right.
But I'm back.
He's back. He's on the IR, though. So, he's going to be in the IR for a little while. So, but we'll also be... The last 2 weeks has really got us thinking to upgrade the podcast also. So, that's not far away now. Definitely before the next NRL season for us.
Yeah, you could see some decor in the background, some upgrade to the mics. I think you boys
overall, your advanced thinking basically encapsulated the last week and a half. The same cunts covered last week as they didn't cover before, and same pricks continue to cover. It's as simple as that. But this week, hopefully that will change because we're at triple digits now for some of these teams. We might as well be because they're so god awful.
Yeah, and they're really starting to hurt me, but what else has been hurting me as of late is Thursday night football, where it cannot just continue to be the exact same trend of the road favorite, covering every single line. Last week, obviously the spread was wrong. Saints should have been plus 15.5 because these guys are kinds of pitiful. But actually, we have a pretty good matchup in this one, Chris. 2 good teams face each other. Vikings coming off a loss and Rams essentially coming off a loss, winning the turnover battle 4-1 to Raiders and only winning by 5. So short spread of 2.5. It's shortened to in some places. We saw this open at 3.5. Apparently, the news that Cooper Kupp's going to get traded moved this 1 point into Rams' direction, which we already knew he was playing anyway, so you can't need to wake up. But will this garbage trend continue, Chris, that the road favorite continues to cover on Thursday night on the short week?
I don't think so.
Wow, okay.
Look, the podcast wasn't around a year ago, but I had a weird feeling a year ago too. These guys are just going to go win every single game again, aren't
Rams
they?
of war.
So it was around this point of the season, similar record as well. They just went on fucking Xanax and started beating everyone. And Puka Nakua was born. And they went to Ravens and only lost by a touchdown in overtime. And everyone's like, oh my God, they're gone. Made the playoffs and ended up just losing to the Lions. It kind of has that feeling again. Last week, obviously, they were god awful to not beat Raiders by more, especially when they didn't score a touchdown. But I think this is a bad spot for Vikings in the sense of the heartbreaking defeat last week when I think they came out and started the game very, very well. But Detroit, just hung in there. And then once Detroit actually got into the game, it seemed like it was always going to be Detroit are going to win. Even though there was that fumble before Vikings to take the lead by 1, there was still points in the game. I was like, you know what? Detroit are just going to run the offense. And obviously their offense is just fucking hand the ball to Gibbs and just keep running at all costs. The Rams on the other front, I think, in my opinion, are on the rise. And I think they will not just cover the 3 or 2.5, but they will win this game. So that would mean that your little stupid trend will end. And the Vikings will fall to the Rams in LA.
Look, it's an interesting one, Chris. I kind of toss and turn with this one. I will say what kind of goes underrated, in my opinion, of last week is sneakily that Lions-Vikings game was a battle of number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. And the way the game actually played out was any drive that Vikings needed to stop, I feel like they couldn't get it. And maybe there's a situation that Lions, their offense is that good and their offensive line's that good that it negated what Vikings wanted to do as far as bringing pressure on the front goes. And we've seen the stats of Goff splits when you blitz against him, apparently he turns into God himself. But it kind of actually made me peg Vikings down a small level of, all right, they've been up huge in a bunch of these games, 27-0 to Green Bay, 20-0 against fucking Jets, whatever. But as soon as the game became push comes to shove, they didn't really look likely getting a stop. So I see where the pushback comes, and obviously now that Stafford actually has one player on offense that isn't Kyren Williams, that's probably encouraging for them going forward. But now that the spread's gone to 2.5, I still think Rams are going to have a really hard time blocking this Vikings pass rush, and conversely, I don't think they have the pieces to stop what they're going to throw at them. With obviously Kevin O'Connell calling good plays. Justin Jefferson, you just peg the ball within 10 yards or he catches anything. And Darnold has shown probably now halfway through the season that he's pretty competent himself. Both these teams came off a bye previous week of last, so I think they will be somewhat physically ready to go in this game. And at 2.5, I'd probably have to lean with my Minnesota Vikings. And I think the Rams season will slowly but surely deteriorate to a point where they're like, fuck this. Staffy's 50 years old. Puka Nacua is good, right? But he's obviously has a more severe injury than Cup. And it might get to a situation where they're like, all right, we should probably punt on the season. You probably could get a second-round pick for Cup at this stage if Devontae's going for that, right? So I think this would be the beginning of the demise, and it won't be like last year with this Rams team. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
In my opinion, it's probably the trickiest week handicapping-wise because there's just numbers that jump out to me. And obviously, we still haven't invested in that skip button in the middle of this table, but I'll be pressing it in a hypothetical situation for a bunch of them. With the current spread in this world, it probably applies. Cincinnati laying 3 flat to your Philadelphia Eagles, Chris.
Why are they mine? Why am I claiming?
Because I'm not claiming those pricks. I don't like them, but I think, who cares? 3, just, all right, if it's 3.5, take Philly. If it's 2.5, take Bengals. And if it's 3, just skip that
I think
shit.
it's skip anyway.
Yeah.
I can't see a situation that Bengals have played good enough to lay points to fucking a playoff team at the moment. And what's interesting is that last week, Philly were only 3 to Giants. Just let that comprehend. Giants can't even score. And now you're getting 3 points. I know our Bengals 6 points better than Giants. Well, they beat them by 10. But again, that game wasn't too convincing, and the Giants' defense actually played very, very good. Just got unfortunate. So I can't sit there and go, oh yeah, I'm just going to fucking take Bengals and close my eyes and it's going to win. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think this is probably one of the easiest skips of the week because I don't know. I don't trust Eagles to do anything because even though they're touted to be decent, I don't think they're that great. And then Bengals, on the other hand, you don't know what Bengals are going to show up. Can they defend or can they score? Or can they do both? If they do both, they're going to cover 7 against this team. But we haven't seen it. And until proven, I'm good. I'm not going to take any negative with Bengals unless they're playing some fucking idiots.
Yeah. Fuck this game. Bengals, I don't know what's so fucking difficult for you guys to have both sides of the ball play good in the same game. Either your offense drops 40 and your defense quits and concedes 40 as well. Or defensively, you hold the opposition to 10 and your offense can't score anymore. If you motherfuckers didn't get a punt return TD on the opening kickoff in the Browns game, and Deshaun Watson was healthy, bro, maybe like maybe you cunts would have lost to Browns, right? But on the other side, like the scoreline definitely flatters Philly because Giants. I mean, when are you guys gonna score in New York? Like something's wrong with you. It's home field disadvantage with you pricks. But
for both of the New York.
But on the other side of things, like I really don't think that like these bums are convincing Philly. Like, all right, you hit a 4th and 3 50-yard touchdown to AJ Brown, and Saquon bit off 2 80-yard rushing like things. But other than that, if people actually were paying attention, this game went punt, 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 punt. And now you're going to Cincinnati where I feel like the defense is getting better and the Eagles secondary is... I don't think they have a chance against what's coming to them as far as this passing attack goes. So for me, it's Bengals or pass. I'll wait for a 2.5. If we get 2.5, I'll probably lock that one in. I don't want to bar Philly. I really can barely look at these guys. But one team I really can barely look at anymore. This Colts team is really pissing me off.
Why?
They stop covering by half a week every
They have Anthony Richardson of War.
That's the problem. He's fucking terrible.
But who are they playing that is still terrible in my eyes?
What do they have to do to win you over, mate? This Texans
shit.
team. What's shit about them?
I just... Like, even against Green Bay, like, to be honest, their execution in the red zone is not great. I know Nico Collins is out, but it sounds like the whole world doesn't believe he's out, or it doesn't matter that he's out, that their offense is just so good without him. I don't think they played great against Green Bay. Yeah, they covered the 2.5, but to be honest, I don't think they deserve to cover the 2.5. Green Bay deserved to win this game pretty convincingly. And now you're going to have to lay 6 in a divisional game against Colts. I don't know about that. And I know the Colts have been the typical team to fucking have a 3.5 spread and lose by 3 exactly. So they cover and lose. But 6 is a lot of points. And Colts actually have a hope now. If you're laying 6 in a scenario, Colts are fucking dead in the water. That's a different story. But actually laying 6 in an opposition against Texans. All right, Texans are going to win the division, sure. But to lose to them, not just once. The first time they lost to them, you could argue that Colts actually gave them a bath. They had 3 40-yard passes from Anthony Richardson where the secondary of the Texans went pew, and they were in the game for that. And what makes you think that this Texan team has improved so much that they're going to just do it again? I actually think this purely is a skip if Jonathan Taylor doesn't play. If he plays, I'm taking Colts.
So if he plays and they are like 4.5,
I'm taking him.
All right. I believe in retribution. So what's going to happen is Colts, for no reason whatsoever, went and covered 2.5 to these cunts in week 1.
They're not going to.
So now they're going to lose by 7. I'm dead serious. Fuck Colts. There's no reason for you guys to be 6-1. You're not like undervalued in the market. You're not some like bottom feeder that no one rates. People like bet on you on a weekly basis, and you keep covering by half a point. I'm sick of these cunts. Fuck off. But who I'm not sick of, and I forgot to mention them in the spiel of they're one of the teams that never cover. And last week they fucked me over in lock of the week, but they're not quite the North Queensland Cowboys. I would do them lock of the week again, and yeah, it's quite unlock the pod to repeat picks back to back weeks. So I will leave that alone because there is a funnier team later in the slate. But the Cleveland Browns getting 9 points in Cleveland.
What?
No, I'm taking it, baby. I'm taking Jameis Winston. I'm taking that Browns D, and I am. You are the whisperer of many teams, Chris, but I'm claiming one team, and I am the Ravens whisperer. I'm 7-0 on their games so far this season. I know when they're going to fire up, and I know when they're going to quit. And everyone in the world that considers themselves sharp was on Tampa Bay in Monday Night Football and got bent over by this Ravens team, even up 10-0. But this Ravens team don't give a fuck about going to Cleveland and winning by double digits. I could definitely see, 24-20 scoreline where Browns lose for the 50th game in a row, but at least they cover one.
Browns might win.
Browns are not winning.
They could win.
They're just awful. But they can't. They could win, actually, yeah.
I reckon they could win.
In this sport, like, if you want to sprinkle Browns money line, like, this is sort of stupid game that they would win. Because in the AFC North, I don't think you could just like blindly back the favorites and have them keep winning. Eventually, some like stupid results can happen. So,
Agreed.
If you were to sprinkle Browns money line in there, like I wouldn't hate you for it, and I'm quite confident Browns of War this weekend.
Well, you are the Browns whisperer, and truly, when they're down,
I'm not.
No. When they're down and out, that's when they win.
Yeah, a la when they beat San Francisco at $5 head to head last season for no reason. Could see something similar.
It could be something similar, and the Ravens dual loss.
But conversely, like Kansas City dual loss, they don't seem to lose.
They will.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, Ravens. Like I think Lamar's playing well enough at the moment that I trust him to pull a win out of his arsehole, even if they're down late in the fourth quarter. But there's no reason for these guys to go win by double digits. And if they do, I truly think Cleveland, they should create their own division in the sport where Patriots, Cleveland, Carolina, and Tennessee all just play each other for the rest of the year because I'm sick of this shit. And speaking of Tennessee, fuck you guys.
We haven't got to the...
No, they're there now. It's -11. Like,
no, I haven't said anything about Cleveland.
Don't talk to me about Cleveland. You don't give a shit about Cleveland.
No, I don't, but I'll take him. 8.5. I believe in James.
In who?
Jameis Winston. Your boy.
That makes one of us.
Why not?
I believe in like Ravens not giving a dog piss. I don't believe in Jameis at all. Fuck this guy. I'm a Deshaun Watson guy.
Yeah, that's worked out for your hips.
Look, I will say Deshaun Watson.
I'm sorry for your injury, sir.
I feel for you, sir, but
actually, fuck the Browns crowd. I can't believe they were
cheering.
Look, no, you can't cheer for injuries. Like, it doesn't matter how god awful he was playing.
Yeah, no, doesn't even matter like how god awful he is as a person, right? As a player, as a person, yeah,
he's still
whatever.
a person.
But he still rocks up there and he sacrifices his body for your franchise. And to see an Achilles pop and he's like lying on the floor in pain with a towel over his head, getting carted off, and you guys are going, yeah. Look, if you're not going to like clap him off or something, that's your prerogative. Just sit there in silence and then go home and like say, thank God this guy's injured. Don't fucking... I can't imagine like how empty you would feel as a professional athlete when your home fans are cheering that you just tore your Achilles.
Well, you know what's interesting? There's all these fans that are screaming out how like that he's injured. We never complain about a player getting injured. We complain about when they're playing and they play dog ass on this podcast.
Exactly, yeah.
Like that,
that's fine.
And we get fucking slated for that. And these motherfuckers are gonna go.
Apparently, it's fair game.
An injured player, unbelievable,
god awful. But can we move on to Tennessee now?
Okay,
I won't take long. I promise you.
What are you gonna say?
I believe Tennessee are in the unbackable territory category. And I don't know who's making these spreads or who these sharp punters are. Probably the same dingoes that bet Tennessee down from 10.5 to 9 last week. Watch them go up 10-0 and then just evaporate into thin air for no fucking reason whatsoever. And, like, these cunts are out here making business decisions on defense. Like, the game was close. It was still like a one-possession game in that second half. And you guys just quit. So... as far as I'm concerned, you're playing a better offense in a more hostile environment that's clicking on all cylinders.
Who just won the comp. And you're only getting 11. After, like, you got to think, sometimes you have to turn to a sports psychologist on the punt. So, these cunts went up 10-0 against Buffalo, gained hope, and then gave up. So now, like, imagine if they go to Detroit, they fly all the way to Detroit, and Detroit, like, put together a touchdown drive to start the game. And they look up at the scoreboard at 4 minutes and they're like, oh, we're already down 7-0. You think they're going to not quit again? Fuck that. I'm good. Well, the Sharps obviously don't believe that they're not going to quit. This was 12.5 and now is 11.
They are quitters. They showed you they're quitters.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
I'll
only take him if Will Levis is playing.
I've said this a million times. I understand that the bookies can't price in that these cunts are going to quit, but... This is honestly getting to a stage that these cunts are going to fucking quit on the year. To be only 1 point more than you were a week ago after getting absolutely fingered.
Yeah.
And you're playing a better offense on the road back to back. I don't understand how this is not 14.
It should be like 2 touchdowns. I know the bookies are reluctant to make the spreads like super, super big, but I just showed you the list. 5-31 against the spread, the losers are. And... it's just going to go to fucking 8-50 at some point unless you start giving them like crazy amount of points.
Because even if you gave Tennessee 14 last week, it wouldn't have covered. So what's the prerogative to not give it 14 this week?
I don't know. If this is a game where like if Lions don't cover, it's just due to their own like apathy or just stupidity. And I don't want to be in a situation where I'm taking Tennessee, begging Lions to make a mistake because I know Tennessee just have nothing. They're just water pistol offense and a bunch of quitters on D. So I'm good. Fuck you guys. But now we move on to, I would say, in my opinion, Chris, the most torturous game, regardless of which side you back this weekend. Because if you take Green Bay and they fuck it up to Jags, that's infuriating. And if you take Jags and Green Bay cover again, that's also infuriating. So
I think it's more infuriating for you. So I like
personally,
Green Bay.
yeah. But like, so okay, because you like Green Bay, you can't take Jags, right?
No way. No, because I despise Jags.
Exactly.
I can't believe they have 2 wins.
Yeah.
They're fucking awful.
Yeah, Patriots and who was the other dingoes?
Miami.
No, they covered and lost to them.
Oh, Tennessee. Who, I mean...
Wow, so they've legit been the 2 shittest cunts in the sport.
So, now you're only getting 4 points at home after they went to London. If I have to take someone, I'll take Green Bay. Their offense is basically like an automatic 7 points once it gets to the red zone. So you're basically betting on, let's hope Jacksonville don't get a team to the red zone. And how that's turned out so far this season is that they just let everyone walk there. So I'm good. Can I see Green Bay winning this game by 4 points like they won by 2 last week? Oh, yeah, because it's Green Bay. But at some point, I know what's going to happen with Green Bay. They're going to fucking rape the team. And I think it might be Jacksonville, but I'm going to still stay clear, so skip.
Yeah. I'm good. But I will be taking action on this one. And
Browns aren't playing again.
Cannot believe you're laying points with these cunts with the way they've been playing. And it's all predicated on injury news. Tua should be returning for this game.
Oh, yes.
And the Miami Dolphins have life. They have a pulse. Tyreek Hill is actually has a reason to go to the stadium now because his boy is back. And thank you for your service, Snoop Huntley and Sky Moore, Skylar Thompson, I think his name was. Yeah. Not that I'll ever utter your name on the podcast again, but you guys truly justified Tua's contract in a way. No, and don't get me wrong, Tua was not lighting the world on fire in the first 2 weeks, but I mean, fuck me, the drop off of running out Snoop, holy fuck! I can't believe this is the same roster that was remember last year where these guys were just scoring 35 points every game in Miami? Ran out there and gave Tennessee a win. So this is incredible in my mind that. Now, the more I think about it, how bad are Patriots that have given Snoop a win?
Yeah.
Wow, it's like a merry-go-round of dicks in this sport. But now, it's all right. Tua's back. All good.
Who are they playing?
Arizona Cardinals of war.
No!
Who? If there's one team I know is not going to two-peat in this sport, it's those dicks.
Well, I'm very bad on Arizona games, but I'm going to take my shot and take Miami as well.
Yeah.
Because Arizona are my kryptonite. Because as soon as I take them, they always fire up against me. Or better, if I bet against them or take them, they fucking quit. So thank God I've skipped them the last couple of weeks. Actually, it might be predicated on what your word is. Because I know you're more of an Arizona whisperer. If I'm allowed to take them. Because I'll allow you to take one other team later if you wanted to. If you want to take them. Actually, I don't even need to convince you. You got to do it anyway because it's fucking Washington.
I'm not backing down to Mariota.
But
yeah, look,
Miami
Cardinals.
Is that it?
Look, this is season on the line stuff for Miami, and they actually defensively really hung in there against Colts last week. Just water pistol offense stuff. If they had any semblance of a good quarterback play last week, they would have fingered Colts. So yeah, I'm all over Miami in this one. Give me the -3. Ideally, you would be getting -2.5. But not an ideal world sometimes. You really should beat Arizona by more than 3, who, outside of Kyler's 60-yard rush, legit did nothing against Chargers the whole game.
Correct.
So, yeah, I'll take Miami in that one. Divisional dogs continue. These guys already played on a short week 3, I want to say, where Jets got their big win.
Jets. Oh.
And now they go to New England to play Drake May of War and the New England Patriots coming back. They're probably still in London now. Just licking salt out of their wounds of getting raped by Jags. Getting 7 points at home. I think they're the right side. I don't really want to take it, but I will take it because Jets are just something new. And there's any semblance of any pulse in this Patriots team. All right, you have the revenge factor of getting raped by them a couple of weeks ago. It's a division rival. Your offense has a pulse, which it hasn't had in a very long time with Brissett playing. You're back at home.
Brissett's not playing.
You're getting 7. You're getting 7 points. Please cover a line, boys.
Skip.
Wow.
I will stay away from any Jets fixture for a significant period.
You're off of that much.
I'm off them so much, but I know Drake May is playing good. But my concern is now these cunts can't defend, and now Jets can't defend. So essentially, you're taking May versus Rodgers. And I'll happily take Rodgers. That's, you know what's nuts?
Yeah, but Rodgers can't score.
No, you know what's nuts? It's actually insane, but what I'm saying is true. Both teams now can't defend. This team let 37 to fucking Jags at one end. The other side gave 35 to Russ and the Steelers.
Absolutely pitiful. I think giving 37 to Russ is worse.
37, sorry. And now both teams can't defend, and they both could have a decent offense. When they should be defensive teams. Exactly what's going to happen is unders.
Did you just talk this into overs?
For unders.
Because now both of them are going to
fire. Now they're going to defend for no reason.
Yeah.
So
I think like Jets in a vacuum, like there's some serious issues there, bro.
There's issues, bruv, yeah.
To have 2 wins against
Patriots and
Tennessee and just lose to everyone else is fucking despicable from you guys. So.
Nah, look, I do like my Jets, but I'm off them. If they won that Buffalo game, I think we'd be talking about a completely different story. If they beat Buffalo...
Yeah, I know, but like, they were literally 15-6 to Steelers. There was no reason to end up losing 37-15. What the fuck happened to you guys?
They can't defend anymore.
If you can't defend Drake May, then like...
you know what? Drake May is playing gun, so fucking leave him alone.
Yeah, I know, but like, fuck me, boys.
No, they should cover 7, but
look,
I can't be
in a
bothered.
like really shit take, just tease them down to a fucking -1 or something, and just take your Jets at them with like some other dingoes. There's no reason for them to go and lose to Patriots as well. And remember in week 1 when Patriots beat Bengals, how pissed off I was? Because I knew this was going to happen. They're going to win one game and then just quit every single game for the rest of the year, which really pissed me off.
Well, they're going to quit again to Jets.
I told you, mate, you want to talk about quitters? We're right on cue because...
Is it the 7 a.m. slot?
Not quite, mate. Not quite there, but we are at the Week 8 NFL Lock of the Week. The Atlanta Falcons with a chance to seal the division, in my opinion. Only laying 2.5 in Tampa Bay against what I think is a shell of the former Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Defensively, these guys have quietly been giving up over 30 points in the past 3 to 4 fixtures in a row, including to Atlanta 3 weeks ago, where they really should have won that game and they blew it with no fucking time in overtime. I don't know like why they lost that game. And now you're taking away Godwin's and Mike Evans from Baker, who that's pretty much what Tampa have hung their hat on for the whole season so far. Falcons, I know they lost to Seattle, but I think they're going to bounce back quite well in this game, and they are relatively healthy compared to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So with a chance to take a massive lead in the NFC South against 2 really injured teams and 1 god-awful team in Carolina, I believe the Falcons will go and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -2.5. That is my Week 8 lock of the week. Let's go, Kirk.
Best of luck,
You
mate.
like that?
I will be with you as well. This is the closest. This is probably going to be the main fixture. So as soon as Kirk gets the bright lights, he'll all of a sudden turn into fucking Mahomes. So all goods. They're going to win.
See Kirk in the quiet.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
No, he's going to lose, but in prime time, that's where you want to get on. Kirk.
They beat him 2 weeks ago with a much stronger lineup, and I still don't know how Falcons beat them in overtime. And I don't think there's going to be much of that. Baker, off a short week, after leading 10-0, blew the win and didn't cover 4. It's pretty bad. And now Godwin and Evans are out as well. I'm scared for Tampa. I think they might quit on the year. They might finish below Saints. We were coming up next, aren't they? But
no, I think there's one of the foreign fucking peasant.
But yeah, no, I believe in Atlanta as well. I think they're pretty good and they're going to win the division anyway now, as long as they beat Tampa. If you don't beat Tampa, I swear to God, you cunts are something new. You're going to win the division anyway because these cunts can't beat anyone. But this one will just lock it already and it will basically be done.
Yes, agreed.
Because the next team...
What do you do? What do you do with Saints?
Well, you're the whisperer. What am I supposed to say?
No, I don't want to whisper with the... Actually, I'm the anti-Saints whisperer. They always stitch me up.
That's true.
Have I gotten the Saints game right this whole year? No. I don't think so.
Week 1?
No.
No.
They've just like... They have nothing. Zero. They're running out nobody. No Shaheed, no fucking Olave. Marshawn Lattimore's injured now.
What?
3 of their offensive linemen are out, if not 4. Derek Carr's questionable, which I'm not sure he's any worse or better than Spencer Rattler of War either.
No, he is.
Fuck this team.
Yeah, but then the other side have the biggest rat of all.
Which one? Justin Herbert of War. But like, Chargers defensively have been pretty good.
Do you charge them off a short week though?
Hey?
Do you trust them off a short week?
Well, I don't trust them off a long week. But it's fucking Spencer Rattler. They just got raped by Bo Nix. at home. What can Saints go there and do? I think this is like a Phantom 7 line to like entice people to take Saints. This actually should be 10.5.
No, I think
Saints are absolutely dreadful.
No. Luckily, there is a better, sharper, blunt bet later, which I'll get to, and you're going to die of laughter once I say it. But
if you say Raiders, I'll really laugh.
It's one of the primetime games. But if I had to pick one, this would be sharper, blunt for Chargers again.
You're going to say Dallas, aren't you?
No.
Aww.
The other one.
Yeah.
But I think overall, the sharper blend actually should be Chargers. They're the type of cunts to win this game by 6.
6-0.
Because I think they're going to trust Herbert again to throw the ball.
To who?
To his team.
There's no team. They have the worst skill position group of all time. Will Saints go and allow these cunts to run the ball? That's the $1 million question. Because if you can't run it against Arizona, there's a short list of my mind of who you can run it against. But Saints is on that list. I mean, these guys can't do anything.
It's a skip, but for troll purposes, we might take Saints.
No, I'll actually take Chargers.
Why? You're going to lay a field goal, lay a touchdown with them. They're retarded. Yeah.
Because I think if they get to 8 points, it's over.
They're going to win by 7.
But if Carb plays, I'll reevaluate everything. That's more like you need to stay tuned to see what Carb does. All right. Take it away, Mr. Seattle. That's what they're calling you now after your big upset alert win. Put it in, mate. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Well,
what does Mr. Seattle think?
Well, you know what? You did say before, we don't do this often, do we? But sound the fucking alarm. My Seattle Seahawks are going to win again. They now have some sort of magical hope all of a sudden. Now that they've won a game, now everyone thinks they're decent. And don't worry about DK Metcalf. He'll be out there. Even if he's not, you're going to end up getting 5 and they're going to win anyway because it's Seattle. Now, Buffalo, on the other hand, had their big win in Tennessee. And going to Seattle, 1 is a little bit annoying. And 2, who really gives a rat's ass? Seattle now have a chance to win the actual division because Niners can't fucking put 2 wins together or actually can't beat anyone at all. So I truly think Seattle's going to go home after beating the Falcons and 2-peat because they're continually either peat in wins or peat in losses. And now that it is broken, they're going to win another game and maybe go on another 3-peat. I'm going to take my Seattle Seahawks with or without DK Metcalf. It won't matter. They're going to win this game outright.
Sound the fucking alarm, baby. Let's go.
We have never put the same team twice ever in our lives.
I don't think you've upset the same rats twice, have
Dragons. Back when they beat Manly, and then I did it again.
Yeah, well, you really were pushing your luck with Dragons, but I don't think you're pushing your luck in this one, mate. 3.5, you're getting the hook in Seattle with the 12th man on your side. And I think it's actually been quite easy to dictate what happens in these Seattle games. When they have their defensive front, they're 4-0. When they don't have any of their players on the defensive front, they're 0-3. So now that they're much healthier, you actually saw them probably withhold a pretty good offense in Atlanta last week, where Buffalo, don't get me wrong, they are live to win this game, but you really want to be on the other side of 3. I could easily see this being a stupid game where Buffalo win by exactly 3 or 2 or something, and any of the dingoes that waited and laid 3.5 with Buffalo and didn't get the best of the number when this was 2.5, 3 earlier in the week are left with the losing ticket come Sunday. So now that I'm saying that Seattle are live to cover the 3.5, I mean, the way Gino's slinging the ball, you would really want DK to be there. And I think there's a lot of things in the Buffalo secondary that if they can just protect Gino and give him enough time in the pocket, they can really move the ball down the field, which they really have done in most games this year, even when their defense was conceding 30, 40 points. Gino put 30 up in Detroit, put a good 20-something up in San Francisco. So you're always going to be live, even for a backdoor cover at that stage. I don't see why you wouldn't take the points with Seattle in this one. I expect them to have a pretty good game.
All right, 2 points are coming up.
Now,
time to take the points with the next 2.
You want to just lump them into one? Because I don't want to talk about Carolina in any capacity.
Well, Carolina go to Denver, and I think this is a new low for the Carolina Panthers franchise to be 9.5 underdogs to a rookie quarterback.
The Bo Nix is fucking pitiful from you guys.
But I'm skipping. It scares me. It scares me to take Carolina.
I'm terrified.
They're so bad.
I swear to God, if they were 14.5 in Denver, I'd be like, they could might still not cover that.
Nah, I'll take 14.
I would take it, right? But I'm not thrilled of
I think
being
this
on
should
this
be
thing.
11, and then I would take it. And then the Tennessee one should be 14.
Oh, Tennessee are that god.
Oh, yeah.
Well, at least Tennessee's playing Detroit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
these guys are playing fucking Bo Nix.
You're laying 9 with Bo Nix. Like, come on, boy.
My issue is, I don't even know how Carolina are going to score.
I don't know how they're going to defend either. That's kind of like concerning when you have no hope in their offense or their defense. So I guess that's why you're 9 to Bo Nix. But if anything, like,
should be more.
I actually would kind of like laying 9 with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
So I'm good. I'm not taking them. But I do believe in this team. And it's very seldom they let me down. And even after
they don't let you down.
Turning the ball over 11 times in the last 3 weeks, which is an NFL high by far, this team will come good in this divisional spot. And look, Patrick Mahomes, he has dominated this division, and he always beats Denver, and he always beats Chargers, even though Chargers are touted as the team that, might go and do something with him every year. But there is one team that not only cover against this guy, but go and beat him outright. And I think back to Christmas Day last year where Santa did not come to town. The Oakland Raiders of motherfucking war came to Kansas City and beat this piece of shit's ass. And I'm hoping they can do it again through the power of Brock Bowers. And Max Crosby is coming out with a bounty on Patrick Mahomes. And I really think that the first Kansas City L of this season, after beating Baltimore, after beating Cincinnati, after beating San Francisco, after beating all these teams, they're going to go to Las Vegas and come home with the first L of the season. Let's go, Raider Nation. Just win, baby. Win one.
That could be the best back yourself. This will be a back yourself moment of all time.
If these guys go and win.
I mean, there's no shy away. Anyone that's on premium or just watches the podcast, just know we'll be on Raiders plus whatever it is on the day.
It just depends how many units.
How many units, really, because as you said, Chiefs stopped covering and stopped winning. They haven't played great. Mahomes hasn't played great, and they continue to fucking conjure up some garbage. And if you're worried about the Raiders' offense, I'm going to say that about another team, which is actually in primetime on Tuesday, that typically what happens in this dumbass sport is that the Chiefs will defend everyone that's decent very, very well, and then they'll come up with some fucking retards.
And then back down to Bowers.
Yeah. So, look.
Well, funnily enough, Chris, defensively, where do you think the Chiefs are most susceptible to damage? It's not to wide receivers because their corners are fantastic. It's not to a rushing game because Chris Jones in the front is great. Throughout the year, they actually have really struggled with tight ends. And Gesicki gave them a hard time. Likely gave them a very hard time. George Kittle was probably the most effective weapon against them last week, where Ayuk and all those boys did nothing. So, if anything, like, you're getting 10.5 points in Las Vegas in a division rival game where how many weeks can Kansas City just be up for it? All right, we beat San Francisco, and we beat Bengals, and we beat Ravens, and we beat fucking Jets, and we beat all these teams. Like, they were going to beat Jets, so that's fine. So at some point, they need to have a bit of a letdown spot, and I think
Browns,
a lot of their top wide receiver options are out, and they're probably going to have to run the ball a bit more. And, this Raiders front, they are pretty good at stopping the run. So is it just going to get to a point where I think the only way the Raiders don't cover the 10.5 here is Raiders have generally really, really struggled to sustain long drives, and they either end in 3 and outs or like despicable turnovers where Minshew's just like fumbling backwards and they're conceding 7 points immediately off the mistake, right? But in the case where they don't just hand Kansas City 14 points, I don't see why Chiefs would go there and beat the shit out of them by more than 10 points.
Agreed.
So that's my take on Raider Nation. Just win, baby. Come on.
All right. I think what's next? Is it prime?
We're on to primetime, mate.
Oh.
Pittsburgh Steelers of...
No.
Is this your sharp or blunt or...
No,
sorry. We forgot your team. What am I doing?
Oh, wow.
Wow, apologies.
Wow.
The Chicago Bears of War
are
back from their bye.
This is why we didn't actually have a podcast. There's nothing wrong with this guy's ACL.
Yeah, Bears weren't playing. So there was no point talking. But as the Bears whisperer that you are, Chris, obviously you'll be following them into battle this week. Can you tell me why, besides the fact that they haven't let you down, that you believe Bears were going to go beat the dog piss out of Commanders?
Because they're not going to play Jaden Daniels. And I would strongly recommend, this could be a take on its own, and everyone that's fucking an NFL genius will be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll tell you. You do not want to play Jaden Daniels against the Bears defense, right? If you were playing Raiders, maybe not Raiders, because Crosby would fucking eat him.
Yeah.
Let me think of it.
Falcons. With the most non-existent pass rush in the NFL.
Falcons. There's a few teams that have the non-existent pass rush.
Patriots,
yeah. Tennessee these days. That's all right? He can just bundle his way and throw a few passes, and you'll lead 20 to Carolina, and then you'll lead 50-0 anyway. But playing Bears off a bye, now if he plays, it gives you more inclination to take Bears, because knowing the Bears, they have actually just waited for this cunt this entire time, and if he does play, I guarantee he'll be going to hospital. I mean, the Bears defense are going to come out and fucking kill him. And I think the recommendation would be not to play him. If you guys end up playing him, there could be a stupid amount that I'll put on Bears, because I truly think they're prepared for this cunt. And
it'll go to pick him probably.
And it'll go to pick him, so you're going to get a better price, and I think they're prepared for it. I actually want him to play, but if I was the Washington organization, there's no way I'm playing him against Bears. The Bears defense has been exactly what everyone's been looking for, and why I've been so bullish on them this entire time. And now Caleb's actually waking up. So you get the dynamic of their defense playing gun, and Caleb's playing much better than he did week 1. And now he has a week off, gets back at home, not in London anymore. Hopefully they didn't party too much over there, the fucking idiots. Come back and actually play hard. And I think this one has Bears all over it. So if Jaden Daniels plays, you're going to get to 3.5. Now, at that point, you really don't want to take Bears unless you're in Chicago. But at 2.5 right now, I would say maybe wait for a bit of news. If you're quick on your fingers, you could probably get exactly what you're looking for. But I know Washington, I don't know the organization too well. But I'm hoping that they actually listen to me and don't play him. Because if they do end up playing him, then you're going to get a fucking fantastic price on Bears. And I think they win this game in Washington.
Yeah, essentially what I think, Chris, is laying anything under 3 to Marcus Mariota, as far as the Bears coming off a bye goes, is good value, and I'll be on it. Do I want to wait until kickoff and get the confirmation that Jaden Daniels isn't playing? Probably, because I wouldn't want to be on -2.5 and then have him play. But in the case that he does play and you get to pick him, I would probably take the Bears as well. This team's given every sharp punter every reason to fade them for the whole year, especially based on preseason expectations. But if you actually just watch what they're putting out on tape every week, they're a pretty good team. Defensively, they're very sound, probably arguably top 5 defense in the league right now. And as long as Caleb Williams is going to keep playing these rat defenses and shit teams, he's going to be putting up big numbers, and they're going to be able to run the ball effectively. Will they run into the problems down the stretch where they end up playing Vikings, Packers, Lions, all these teams? Probably, but and up until this stage, who have they had to play recently? Fucking
Carolina,
Jacksonville, all the losers of the
Rams
sport.
Was probably their big win.
Yeah, and Rams were like super banged up when they played them. So at this stage, like on the other side of things, the scoreboard will flatter Marcus Mariota because he got in when it was 20-0 and Panthers had already quit. But as far as passing the ball goes, this guy's like just not up to NFL standard, in my opinion. And there's only so much Cliff Kingsbury can scheme open with this guy when he just can't hit receivers the same way Daniels has been the whole season. And not to even just mention that Commanders have been playing pretty piss-weak defenses across the board, and I don't think they've seen anything like this Bears unit, particularly with the pass rush as well. And I think Montez Sweat's going to have something to lined up for his former team. He's going to beat their ass. And Deron Payne on the other side is not there anymore, stopping the run for the Commanders. You wouldn't know it because fucking anyone can tackle Chuba Hubbard apparently. But now that the Bears are fresh off a bye, I think -2.5 with Mariota, lay it, pick him with Jaden Daniels, take it.
First pick, second pick as well. That's fantastic game.
For that reason, I kind of hope Daniels plays from a fan's perspective, Chris. But from a handicap perspective, I think that's your blueprint this week. If it gets to 3 without...
That's a lot.
It's not a lot. I'll still lay it. It's Mariota. I'm not backing down to him. All right. Now we can go to primetime with the annual... What do you call it, Chris?
The raping of the year.
The annual raping of the year where the Dallas Cowboys have hope and go to San Francisco and get their ass torn. Will it happen again?
Oh, yeah. This is the sharp up blunt bet of the week. So, everyone out there is going to say, well, look at this. Parsons is back. And look at this. San Fran can't do anything anymore. San Fran don't have Ayuk. San Fran don't have McCaffrey. But I truly think Dallas actually just gets scared of the badge. And there's several teams that I have this beef over, is that once they see the badge, it's just they start shaking and start doing dumb shit. So Dallas all week, listen to this. This is a classic Hussein special, actually, because he usually would say this. Mike McCarthy, you give him too much time, he's going to come up with some dumb scheme to actually try and beat San Fran, and it's not going to work. So, my sharp up blood bet of the week, everyone's going to say it, and the bet that you should avoid in week 8 of the NFL is Dallas.
+4.
Just do not take it.
Yeah.
I truly believe they're going to go and fuck it up. If that means they lose by 5 or lose by 15, who knows? But I will not want to be against San Fran. I know Dallas are scared of the badge. That's what infuriates me the most. There is nothing in this San Fran team they should be scared of. But they're going to see that SF on their jersey and they'll be like, fuck me, we can't beat them.
These guys again.
And they're going to lose to them again. And they're going to lose convincingly, in my opinion. And San Fran will cover the 4 spread or whatever it ends up being.
I want to allow our premium followers and our podcast followers to enter my brain and enter my heart in a way, because truly, Chris, I'm going to open up to you live on set, and we haven't spoken about this off the podcast. I despise this segment. I hate this segment so much.
Why?
I'm going to tell you why. Because it's sharp but blunt, right?
Yeah.
And I hear your analysis, and I'm like, look, he makes some valid points, but it's the sharp side, right? And I always want to be on the sharp sides. I'm sick of these fucking sharp but blunt teams losing. So, technically, from a numbers point, there's no reason to lay 4.5 with Niners.
Exactly.
Right? You probably should take Dallas, but in the event that these motherfuckers go there off a bye and back down to them again, is just absolutely insufferable. So, for that reason, I don't want to take Dallas and get pissed off.
So some would say you're scared of the segment.
But I'm scared of the segment, yeah. Because I should have listened last week knowing that Pittsburgh are getting 2 points with Russell Wilson of war. And I went against you, and I have too much respect for you in this segment to do it again. So I'm good.
I love sharp up blood.
Yeah, it's great. And what else is great is, just fuck me. Who schedules these primetime games? Who wants to watch Giants on a fucking Monday night? I do, baby. Giants of fucking war. Big Blue up in this house. Getting 6.5. Is that it? What the hell? It's Steelers. Look, realistically, trend-wise, numbers-wise, historically, anecdotally, principally, emotionally, financially, there's no reason to lay 6.5 with Steelers, right? But then you think about how the game will actually plan out, and in the hypothetical that Steelers are to obtain 7 points on the scoreboard, your 6.5 might be dead in the water as far as taking Giants. So I might have to defer to my podcast partner on this one, because Daniel Jones, what inclination do I have of thinking that this guy will go and score?
Because he's on the road. You don't get it.
He hates MetLife.
He hates MetLife. Now, this is the newest segment.
Fucking segments is this sport.
The sharp, that is actually sharp bet. Everyone's going to say Giants because you can't lay 6 with Steelers, and they're actually going to be right. But no one's going to have any funds whatsoever remaining after they lose it all on Dallas, that they're going to put 2 cents on Giants and they're going to end up in fucking beating Steelers. So look, the right side is Giants, and take Giants. They're going to cover the 6. Steelers, you cannot lay 6 with Russ. Last week was a facade. Like I said, Jets can't defend anymore. Giants can defend. And Giants' pass rush has been fantastic. They're going to get to Russ. He's not going to be able to throw. Najee Harris runs at 1 kilometer an hour anyway, or 1 mile per hour for you Americans. And he will continue to do that and not be able to get even 1 yard against this Giants front. Take the 6 points. Don't even think about it. Actually, if you're on Tuesday and now that the NBA's on, don't even switch it on your screen. Just leave it, and you're going to see the end of the game. All right, Steelers won by 3. All right, all goods. We covered.
I agree with you, mate. I think the Giants pass rush, they've kept the rubbish team in so many games this year, and I don't like the new philosophy of the Steelers offense of closing my eyes and pegging the ball Pickens as far as I can. I think it worked against the Jets because the Jets are just fucking beyond help at this point in the season. But against good pass rushes, which the Giants have, I think their Steelers' offense has become a little more high variance than it was with Justin Fields, where you weren't getting the turnovers and the mistakes from Fields, but you weren't getting the splash plays either. But I think this is the sort of the game where Russ is going to throw it to one of the Giants players, probably twice at some point.
I reckon he'll fumble.
Yeah, or he might fumble. Yeah. I guess we're ending the podcast on Giants of War.
Sharp, but actually sharp.
Yeah, sharp, but actually sharp. But look, it was a pleasure returning to this set and speaking to you, our fine audience, and I plan on doing the same in the review. Hopefully we back a few more winners this week on the Back Yourself podcast. Make sure you tune in for our NBA daily free plays of the day. We will have a troll one ready for tomorrow. UConn are back, baby, but
No, I've already sent it out.
yeah. So
was it UConn?
No, yeah, it was Utah. Yeah, so
Yo, Utah.
I think we're gonna be putting some money in your pockets with that daily free play, and obviously check out our website for Back Yourself Premium if you're keen to make some money on the NBA and the NFL. We have been on a bit of a heater as of late, but appreciate the time and the support from you guys as always, and peace out. We'll see you come the review.
Peace.